If you're looking for something a little bit out of the box for your teens to get involved in, something that gets them out of the house, something that has them doing various exciting activities, and something that is community minded, and something that might even help them tick a box or two on their path to university, then you may like to take a look at the Duke of Ed Awards program. I'm joined today by Jelena Whitaker, a long-term homeschooling mum whose kids have gone through this program, so she has a lot to share with us. So I'm excited to jump on and chat. Let's get into it. Welcome, Jelena. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it. Can't
Thank
wait
you,
to get into
Kylie.
this because this is something that I grew up knowing about the Duke of Ed. I never participated in it, and none of my children ever participated in it, but I think it's a great initiative. So I'm actually really excited to jump in and talk to you about this. Let's not waste time. Let's just jump straight in, hey?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I do get a lot of questions about this. They see it on my blog. I have my son write a blog, so yeah, let's get right into it. Um, I'm going to share my screen. Our family advice for the Duke of Edinburgh Award. We started doing the Duke of Edinburgh Award about it's coming up to 3 years ago, and one of the reasons, well, our main motivation was we were living rural. We still are rural, but we were actually very remote at that time. And I thought, hey, let's get the kids mixing with other peers, but also sort of achieving along the way. Originally, we thought we would do it because of the QCE points we were trying to collect for their year or their senior certificate, but we don't no longer. I'm worried about that. But the Duke of Edinburgh has been really good for basically building up a student portfolio for them. It's helped them to apply for university at high school and other programs as well, just demonstrating that these guys are able to make goals and keep goals, that sort of thing. But along the way, they've also been, I guess, developing things that they're interested in. And so it really has been good. I'm a mum of four teens. They're still teens, but one of them's a young adult. We live in southwest Queensland, and so yeah, this has been really great for us. The Duke of Edinburgh Award, it's an international award, so it's internationally recognised. But the idea is just to learn skills, get active, give service, and take adventures. There are 3 levels. We've got bronze, silver, and then gold.
And so can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do they have to do them in those levels? Bronze, silver, gold? Or can they just jump in and do the
So
start with?
I believe you can, there's age requirements. So you have to be 14 to do the bronze. I think it's like 15 to do silver and going on. But I believe you can jump, like if you've missed doing bronze, you can jump towards silver, but then there's longer that you have to do more for silver. But we have we've started from bronze, silver, and gold. And you don't have to finish to gold. Like you can just step in and out. So, you can do bronze and that's it. And I'm not 100% I thought it was 25 you can have it done by, but my son said it might be 21. So 21 or 25. So just double check that. But yeah, so I think also if you are 13 and 9 months, you can do the bronze if that's your cohort. You know how like different
Yep.
years, that's for like for school. So that's yeah. And in Queensland, I believe there's like a bridge award beforehand, but I don't know a lot about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the activities that you need to do for Duke and Edinburgh Award is you do a physical recreation, and physical that all of them have a lot of scope. I've got to say, it's not like it. You'll see as we go through. You have a skills component, and then a voluntary service component, and then you have what's called an adventurous journey. So here it is just broken down a little bit, the bronze, silver, gold, and what's expected there. So it's kind of like the time commitment. Um, so 3 months minimum in your bronze, 6 months minimum, and then 12 months minimum for your gold. So you can see there on the far right. So if you're doing,
Oh,
if you
yes.
want to skip, yeah, if you want to skip ahead.
Yeah.
So the adventurous journeys, you also have a practice one and then a qualifying journey as well. So that's part of it as well. These are sort of the steps that I've outlined. You find an award centre, and I think that's the trickiest part. Trickiest part, I think, coming into it is finding someone who's going to be able to support you, because most kids, I think, do it through a school. Or so for us, I was ringing around PCYCs. I was ringing, just like asking other schools, anybody. We were lucky; we were able to find an award centre through Western Downs Regional Council, which is kind of just west of Toowoomba, Dalby, Chinchilla, for those in Queensland. And we're still pretty far from that, but they were able to incorporate us, and so they are kind of like who helps take care of us. So each state is different too. So there's Duke of Ed, Queensland, New South Wales, and there is a little bit of variation in costs, and not the program, but just I guess the administration side of it is a little bit different. You'll find your award centre, then you need to find within those different, I guess you just need people who's going to be able to sign it off. So for your physical activity, you need someone who's going to be your assessor. So we'll probably skip through. So yes, so find your providers for each section and a willing assessor that they must have a blue card. So for my son who's doing footy, his coach is willing to sign that off for him and he has a blue card. For our situation, because we're so remote, we've been lucky that sometimes the award centre can be that person to sign off for you, as long as you have evidence of like which you keep in your what they call the ORB, your online record book. So once you've registered, I just wouldn't go and register until you know that you can actually achieve the Duke of Edinburgh Award, if that makes sense. I would make sure that you know that you've got people who can support you throughout it, because that's the hardest bit.
Yeah. Okay, so really it is the teen in conjunction, I guess, with their parent needs to find
Yeah.
correct activities
Yeah.
to meet the requirements. Does the
Yeah.
award centre give you ideas of things and everything that you can do?
Yeah, so when you go onto the Duke of Edinburgh website, you can actually find guides and you can find like lots of ideas. So you can really, and I think talking to your award centre as well, and hopefully you have great support. Like ours is fabulous. She's really, really great, really passionate. So you can sort of like put an idea to them and say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. So I can't sign anything off, but I can still be kind of like overseeing it and making sure they take, like, again, those records to make sure. You'll get access to what's called an online record book. You can actually download it to your phone, or you can have it on your desktop. So my best tip is really to get the students to record their achievements as they go. My kids are not so great at it. Sometimes we're we're recording all their, like, how many games did we play, and like how many footy games did we play, and we're recording it. But the best way is just do it along the way. Once you're in the orb, you set some SMART goals, which the assessor then looks at and that you can achieve. You keep a log of hours, so there's like one hour a week kind of thing for each thing, and then when you've finished, you sign that off. The assessor writes a report, and then you submit that. I know that's all a bit like what, but as you walk the path, it actually becomes easier. But that's kind of the overview of what that looks like. So yeah, this is like a screenshot of what your orb kind of looks like. You'll log in. I didn't want to show you my children's orb, so you'll have to sort of experience that. So we talked about age requirements. Here's an example of cost to register in Queensland, bronze. So between each state, it's roughly about $200. So some are a little bit more than the others, and some are a little bit cheaper. So each state head office runs that, yeah.
For scholarship type programs or any of those sorts of things?
I
Or
haven't heard of any of that. It's a good question. I haven't heard of any of that. So those fees that I showed you there too are just to register for the Duke of Edinburgh as well. But there will be some award centres or some places actually have fees on top.
Right.
So it's kind of like finding someone who fits you. And yeah, I've heard of some charging a lot and others not. So I find that the community centres are pretty good. Sometimes if you go to a school, they'll, because they want more numbers, they'll yeah. And with the adventurous journeys, those can be very expensive too, because they've got to be like, it's not like I can take them on this hike myself. So you've got to find another provider. And Duke of Edinburgh, this is the only thing I was disappointed in, is that they kind of, I didn't feel they were as supportive, like the head office, as say my award centre. My award centre was really, really great, but I felt like Queensland, they were kind of like, yeah, you can do this, and just go find it. Like they assume that, I guess, you've got a school that's just going to coordinate that all for you. And so there are some people who are providing those adventurous journeys, and that's their business, I suppose. And so they're making these great camps, and they can be expensive. We've been really lucky. We had Columbulla Environmental Education Centre, so those ECCs,
Yes.
um, uh, they're often a little bit cheaper. No, EECs, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Have you
they
done
were
things
really
like
good.
scouts and those types of things that could potentially count? So what I'm hearing, I guess, is that really as the parent, you need to be pretty proactive if you
You
want to
do.
undertake
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
program. Yeah.
yeah. Just set it up. Once it's set up, and then I think for like the first year with the bronze, I was really all over the kids, like making sure, have you done your hour this week? Have you recorded it? Have you taken pictures or whatever it is? And now, like that they're in their gold, I'm a little bit like, well, do you want to do it or not? Like that's the attitude a little bit. Like it's kind of like coming in and saying, hey, how you going? And then pulling back out and letting them sink or swim, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But yeah, it's initially it was, and I think that's the attitude, anyways, that I have in homeschooling, anyways, if that makes sense, because I'm bringing this under my homeschool umbrella.
Yeah.
It's not just an extracurricular as well. So, and I have used it for my homeschool reports, my when they've done their adventurous journeys, they've done like they've planned out their whole trip. They've done coordinates and compass work and all that sorts of stuff. And so I've used that as a math sample, and it's been really, really great.
That's
So
great.
yeah, so it's got a lot of scope. It's really, really great. But yeah, I'm not going to pretend that it's easy to set up, if
No,
that
that's good to
makes
know. I think
sense.
it's important to know going in.
Yeah, it's possible, but yeah. So
Like
um,
anything in homeschooling, mum's got to be really proactive to make things happen.
I think so. And obviously, particularly if you're like, for me, I'm rural, so the opportunities are smaller, the distances are greater. So I have to be willing to like take them to those things and find those things. But they are out there. But in your question about like say scouts or whatever, I'm not really sure, because they're their own thing. So I think they just have to meet certain requirements. So I really truly can't say yes or no, but it's just like asking, and sometimes it's like being the first person and like, oh, I've never thought that we could do that. Yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Good.
we talked about having probably extra fees. Oh, we talked about, so those QCE points or those things towards tertiary, like they can be something. There's a link there about how I can share the slides, but they do count. But again, it's pretty obscure, and I think there's such better ways. I just to get there. Does that make sense? Like for us, we thought this is going to be helpful in QCE, and then like, so yeah, I think I can click on that, and nah, yeah, tertiary partners recognizing the Duke of Ed. So you can see there, if you go, it's just about, again, just doing your research.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that is
Guess
something
what
that's
you're saying.
possible.
Don't sort of rely on it as one of those things. Yeah. Okay. That
No.
makes sense. Yep.
Okay, so I already talked about why we chose to do the Duke of Edinburgh Award. Like I said, it was mostly to just connect them up with peers. Unfortunately, in our situation, that wasn't really the case, because we were so rural, and we did it with Buller, but their numbers were really small as well, and they were struggling even to select get the schools. So when we did do the adventurous journeys, um, there wasn't there wasn't the numbers, so it was kind of like my kids and their dad and another family, or like or maybe another school of like two or three kids. So it wasn't this. It didn't become that for us, but it doesn't mean I don't regret it. It's been really, really great. But and the actual adventurous journey themselves, like my kids say, it's like the best and worst experience of their life because it was really hard. And we'll
Millions
talk.
building.
Oh, like my boy went on the camp, the second one, and he forgot his sleeping bag, I think it was, and it was freezing, so he was in a toilet warming his hands. Anyways, it's a great story. We have lots of good memories, but beautiful, like getting out in nature and doing these really hard challenges was just, yeah, it was gold for them.
Good.
So, do you want to hear some experiences of what we've done?
Love to. Yes, love to.
Physical rec. So I actually made this slideshow a couple of years ago. So I haven't the kids have done more since then, but I just wanted to demonstrate that physical recreation is not necessarily like full running. It's just like a sport and recreation. So my boys did firearms target shooting, clay target, and rifle range. The following year, someone did basketball, but not in a team. He just did basketball skills. So he would play on his own and do some things and record it that way because there wasn't a team where we lived. Another son has been doing football for a team, so that's been really good. So he's been recording his training and that. Voluntary service. So the first years we did the Mangalala Community Garden. That's where we used to live, and that was amazing. Like we just did. We had, like, you can see the produce that those boys are growing there. It was just fabulous. And then we would pick the produce and we would distribute it to the community because we're a very small community. So that was really good. Another voluntary service that the kids have done is they are currently running Code Club. So I have an online learning portal that we have students across Australia, and they run this Code Club together. So they're peer mentors. It's through Code Club Australia, and they did a training course, and they do that. Another son, he did because we're remote, so we have to find all these online opportunities, and that's where Code Club is really great. Another online opportunity that one boy did was with Trove. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Trove, but it's like it's a big online library that actually, yes, yeah. So it has digitalized newspapers and media and important documents, that sort of thing. So what he's quite good at English and he wants to be an author, so it's sort of like in his wheelhouse. So he would go online and so he would look at the scanned copy and then edit it and make sure that the text matched the image as best as he could. So they call them voluntroves, which is really
Oh, I
cute.
love it.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
sounds like it's very, very flexible
Yes.
in terms of the activities that the teens can choose to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and the best part is to do it around either a goal you want to achieve or something, which generally is something you enjoy anyway, or something that you enjoy, or maybe something you're already doing, if that makes sense. So, I did the Mangalala Community Garden myself to get myself out of the house and to con connect with my community, and then I brought the boys in after. So for me, it was just a reason to leave the house in a way, and also keep me accountable. Another one. So we've talked about physical. Oh, so another boy did taekwondo, no, jiu-jitsu for a while. So here's an interesting story with that. He did jiu-jitsu, and then the numbers were so low that the sensei could no longer continue. So we were lucky we were able to talk to our award center and say, can we split his, like, count that? And so he did two sports to help that. So I think it's just communicating and explaining your situation.
That's good. They sound very flexible in all areas, really. So,
Yeah, and the award centre communicated with Duke of Edinburgh on my behalf, explained the situation, and said to them, "This is, this is a remote family. They're doing really great things." And so they would, yeah, there was a lot of support to make sure like that we could achieve it as a rural family.
great.
In the absence of someone seeing us physically doing it. So, yeah, skills. So the first year, the boys were all making a video game for the Australian STEM Video Game Challenge that they actually won 2 years in a row. Um, and that was really great. So they were recording all the skills that went into that, which was just, yeah, designing, coding, artwork, the whole making sound effects, the whole works. Other skills they've done, my oldest, he wanted to learn how to drive. He did that. So you know how you're keeping your hours anyways for a logbook in Queensland? So he was doubling up. So that's what I'm saying, where you can use something. He did that one. So the other one, someone's learning drums, and we got an online, again, it's from home, so he's got an online course and he does that. So yeah, there's lots of skills. That one can be like, that can be sort of massive as well. Yeah,
Like
what
anything,
yeah,
cooking, sewing,
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah,
editing. Yeah,
yeah. And
perfect.
when you go in, you'll see there's lots and lots of options, and yeah, it's got a lot of scope. So the last bit, I guess, is those adventurous journeys. Each level is a little bit longer. It's this idea of going independently and being able to, I guess, take care of yourself, but you're going on overnight hikes. So it's not just staying in one spot, they are journeying somewhere. So the first year they went to Bunya Mountains and did an overnight hike. Another year, when it was longer, they did a kayaking overnight hike. So they had to have everything, not kayaking, canoeing, which is even worse. It's like, I think it's like everybody has fights when they're canoeing because it's so difficult. So yeah, so they loved it. They went through the Noosa waters, and just it was amazing going to places. My son said what was really great about it was that he was going to places that no one else actually really was going to, because you can't access them without these canoes and stuff. So that was really, really, really great. So they had everything they had to carry and sleep. So you can imagine um, the little amount that they could take with them. So it was pretty rough
Such a good
going.
experience for them, though. Such a good.
Yeah, yeah, it was really, really great. And the second year they recruited some friends, so they did that together, and had my husband went along, and I think he was the biggest kid in the group. So
When you mentioned friends, I was just sort of thinking while you were talking there, this could potentially be something great where a bunch of homeschooling families
yeah,
get together, and
yeah.
actually work on their Duke of Ed activities as a group. Is that something that they could do?
I think so. So it was great when we had, yeah, the second family join in and do that. So I think they did jiu-jitsu together, and then they were prepared for the camps together, which was more cost affordable because they all traveled together. Plus, I think just, yeah, having that experience. And I think too, because I did actually have I had a Zoom meeting with a discovery call with another family who were asking about it, and they were thinking about getting a group together to do that as well. So I think the more numbers you have, especially if you approach those environmental education centres or whatever, hey, we've got this group, because they need it to be cost affordable for them as well. So if you're going to make those numbers, it's going to be better. And as a parent too, you've got more support, don't you? You have more connections.
Hmm.
And I suppose really, if you know someone else is doing it, you're kind of encouraging each other along. So,
And it sounds like a great thing. I mean, as homeschool mums, we're out there organizing things
mm, mm,
anyway for our
yep,
kids. So we
Yep.
might as well have them also
Yep.
working towards
Yep.
something. So yeah.
And like with the adventurous journeys, there's all different kinds. You can do your Google search. There's one where you can do like sailing. Um, there's this big tall ships you can do as well. They're on the like, more expensive end, but if you can afford it, like that is an amazing opportunity I've heard. And I think with those ones, you possibly can get scholarships, etc., for that part. That's not under Duke of Ed, but for the like under that tall ships. Plus, I suppose I have thought about it before. You could possibly get, you could do your own fundraising, right?
Mm.
As a child, or you could be like, hey, you're going to get a part-time job, and you're gonna like. There's lots of different things that you could sort of do, I suppose, to make it happen. So I'll just finish up with the last bit. So we've got the adventurous journeys. Um, what if my teen has special considerations? I've had that question before. Um, I think again, it's that advocating, talking, asking for your child. So I don't think there's any limitations really. Um, it just means asking and finding out how can it be possible. I guess if there's physical challenges, then it's just thinking about, well, what kind of adventurous journey would suit that person, or can I send a support person with that person, that sort of thing. I think it's just about having that open communication, asking the questions, who's going to be the best fit. There was one thing with the gold that also an extra bit. With the gold, there's an extra component, and it's called a gold. Ah, it's a gold. It's like a gold project. That thing, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that because they have to go away for a week, and they have to be with, like, you can't go with even anyone you know. It's kind of like they've got to be really quite independent. So we do this Australian geography competition every year. It's a multi-choice competition. It just shows that the kids are learning, and it gives us a certificate that we can show outside people who don't quite understand homeschooling, basically. And my son happened to be really great at it, and the top people in the state were selected to go on this Australian geography camp, the big geography week out. And I was like, what? And so I'm like, and it was all expenses paid, like not like it was paid for, and he was taken to Canberra and to Jindabyne and did this big geography week. So I'm like, hey, this can work for my gold project. So that's what he was able to do. He was able to go away. But you can talk to the Duke of Edinburgh, talk to award centres, and you might be able to do some work experience or that sort of thing. So it's possible. It's just knowing who to ask and that. So I think my story is kind of like it shows to me that once you put some energy out there, you put those woo-woo vibes, it's amazing what you can actually have open up for your kids. Not everybody's going to have that great. That's just what I sort of, yeah, feel. Does that make sense, Kylie?
The more you put out, the more you get back. It definitely
Mm,
does.
mm.
So I want to know, do the kids actually get a medal? Like,
Yeah, they do. Oh, I don't even have one. They do get a medal.
okay.
Um, they got sent out some caps. We had a great awards center. They sent out a certificate, and really, I think you can go to a ceremony in Brisbane. We live too far. It doesn't really bother us so much.
Right.
And I think it's a nice thing for them, but I don't know if it really has mattered too much. But they do have a physical medallion there. Yeah.
Well, overall, it sounds like a great experience if you're prepared to be proactive
I think
in,
so.
in finding,
Yeah.
the support and the
Yeah.
different activities that
Yeah.
you need to get out there and find. Well done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just trying to, like I said at the beginning, trying to just make sure that you can. I think it's the adventurous journey, of which we call the AJs, pardon me. And the best tip too that I have is to make sure you plan, like try and plan ahead for those. A lot of, pardon me, a lot of camps, I'm a bit unwell today. A lot of camps happen summer, like at the beginning of the year and the end of the year because it's like winter's it's too cold for those sorts of things. So generally you'll get a practice journey at the beginning of the year and maybe a qualifying at the end of the year. So it's not calendar based, but I think generally if you're going to work with schools and camp places that work with schools, then you got to think about that. So
Then it raises a question actually. Do you have a time limit to complete, for example, one, like your bronze level and your silver?
not generally, but it's kind of like you just don't want to drag it out. You don't want to like, but you can do one activity at a time. There is no real time limit. It's just whether you're signing it all off. And you can, I think sometimes too, you can backdate it if you towards once you've sort of told someone you want to. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think it's just working with your award center as well. There might be some award centers. It feels like when you call Centrelink,
Yeah.
and it depends who you talk to, or you've called TAFE, and it depends who you talk to. Sometimes you might be the parent saying, "Yes, this is actually possible." You might not have known that, but is this something that we can do?
Yeah.
And then that's often the backwards way of getting what you need. Yeah. PCYCs are really good. Sometimes too, they might know someone else. That's generally how I've found someone. It's like, hey, yeah.
Great. All right. Well, that's great.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful experience.
Well done. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us.
No
Appreciate
worries. I should say that my oldest who did the bronze and the silver, the one who froze in the toilet, do you what do you think? Do you think he's wanting to do gold, Kylie?
it. Well, he's not going to forget his sleeping bag, is he?
He's not doing gold. Let's just say that. And
Still
that's
good
great.
experience.
That's great. I think he's got what he needs. He's now graduated from homeschool. Like he's in the workforce. He's doing other stuff. So it's okay. It's okay to step out and be like, hey, this doesn't suit me anymore. So
No, well done. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
no worries, Carly. Thanks so much. Bye.